Okay, we're going to be doing a little bit of shipping. I don't have a ton to go out today, but as I've said multiple times, I am trying to keep the consistency going with these lives. So we do have one from my personal store going out today. So just want to log into there and be able to say exactly what this sold for. So this is an Ulu Factory knife set with a cutting board, and it sold for $14.74. I believe I paid $2.99 for this at Goodwill. So $14.74 plus they paid the shipping. I'm not going to put any bubble wrap or anything around this. We'll just put it in the box with some packing paper, and it should be good. Should be good to go just with that. Okay, first item is boxed up, just got to tape it. It was this knife set, which is the only thing going out on my personal store today. Okay, time to log into mine and Brandon's store because that's where everything is actually going out today. And we may have a couple more things to pack up. I had a guy messaging me, or I'm assuming it was a guy, it could have been a girl, messaging me about some coins that I'm selling. I believe English is not their first language, so there was a little bit of back and forth. Basically, I have these box sets, and they were trying to buy them without the box to make the shipping cheaper, so I was just confirming what they were actually wanting. And when somebody tries to make offers on two different items at the same time, sometimes it can be a little difficult, and we're actually going to talk about that later because we have a pretty unique instance where we created a specific listing for someone and then somebody else bought it. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Like I said, I just wanted to get logged into mine and Brandon's. Okay, first thing, actually we'll talk about it now because it's the first thing going out today. We have these two cards going out, which is Umbreon and Latias. And what's unique about this is I had these listed separately. Got a fly coming around here. We got this listed separately. And the pair ended up being, I think, like $160. And someone sent us a message and asked what would be the best if we did both of them. And they wanted to know if we could do $125. I'd only had these listed for a couple days, so I said that wasn't possible. And then I actually went to lunch, but my business partner was messaging back and forth with them. And basically they agreed to do $140. So I'm going to pull up these messages because it's kind of funny. It actually ended up being $139. If I can find it. So yeah, so they agreed to do $139, which would have been about 10% off of the total price. And the person said, so $139 with combined shipping, I can do that. Can you send me over the offer? Thank you for the deal. So then my business partner made the listing and said, I made a new listing with the two, should be ready to purchase. And then the guy said, all right, thank you. As soon as I am home, I will make the purchase. Well, he is just saying, like, I'm going to take my time and make this purchase. And then a minute later, my business partner messages him and says, already sold. And he said, wait, how? And my business partner, Brandon, said, I listed it and it sold. I can't put holds on items. Sorry. Once I list something, it's open to anyone on eBay, which is very true. And then he wasn't very happy about this. So he said, but you made the offer for me. Well, he actually messaged us, but that's a different story, wanting us to lower the price. So there's a good lesson. If you want an item and you're desperately wanting that item, buy it for full price. Because as soon as somebody's making you offers, there's always a chance somebody's going to buy it. So now it's just gone, question mark. I never even had a chance to go on and put in my cart. That's crazy, man. And Brandon said, it's out of my control once I put the listing up. He said, I wish you would have waited to put the listing up, or at least let me know you would put it up that way, which we did let him know. Can't you just cancel and sell to me? No, we cannot just cancel because that would be a ding on our account. And honestly, we just care about selling the item. This person's never bought from us before. It's not like a return customer or anything. So we sold it. That's what we wanted to do. So it's really no different for us if he bought it or somebody else bought it. I never even had a chance to see it. So, and then we ended up blocking him because the messages, he wasn't doing anything productive at that point. So I'm curious, what would you guys have done? You have these two cards listed separately. Somebody asked for a deal on both. One of the options is the guy could have sent us offers on both of them, but then it ends up being to where we have to accept this offer, this offer, then we have to refund for the shipping. Or do you create a new listing with both items with the agreed upon price? And then what would you do if somebody else bought it? Which is what happened in this situation. We created this listing for somebody for $139, and then some other random person bought it. Again, to us, it's the same thing. We wanted to sell the items, we sold them. So I'm curious what you guys would have done in that situation. But we are going to get these boxed up. I'm going to get these bubble wrapped. And again, these two cards together sold for $139. Let me get a piece of cardboard. Since these are fairly expensive cards, I'm going to go ahead and put some cardboard around them just to give them some extra protection. I am shipping it in a box as well. So we're just going to do like a folded situation here, like so. So those will be sandwiched in the cardboard. Cut off this excess that we got here. Okay, so we're going to tape this up. So we got those two cards sandwiched in here. We're going to get a layer of bubble wrap on here just to make it look a little extra professional. And we're going to throw it in this box with some packing paper. And it is now good to go. So, come on, cats. What are you doing over there? They're climbing on the inventory. I do have them in tubs. Not the cats, the inventory. Okay, this was the Espion and Latius. And so we'll continue with the Pokemon theme. We'll go ahead and get all these Pokemon cards knocked out of the way. I think it's this one. This one will be real easy. So this is a Charizard. It's in lightly played condition. And this sold for, just want to make sure I did have it upside down. I like to put these upside down in the top loader. That way I can tape the top loader shut and it won't have any fear of damaging the card if it slides out of the inner sleeve. Let me look this up just to make sure, but we did just sell another turtle figure. I don't think I have that here, though. Nope, I think Brandon has that one, so I can't ship that. So this Charizard sold for $11.99. So when things go for under $20, I do the eBay standard envelope. And unfortunately, you can't really protect it extra. I put it in one of these. I put it directly in the envelope and tape it shut, and that's pretty much all you can do. The eBay standard envelope allows you to ship out cards that are under $20, and the buyer only pays $1. I think it's $1.39 or something like that, but it's super cheap. But you only want to do cheaper cards. You can't, they don't allow you to do over $20 anyway. But plus, if you had over $20 cards, which we have one that was pretty close to the line, you want to ship that in with more protection. So we got that Charizard. The next one that was close, this one actually sold for $25. So it's $5 over the mark that you can actually put it in the standard envelope. So what we're going to do, I forgot to grab this beforehand, but we're going to ship it out in one of these. And thank you guys for liking that video. I very much appreciate that. I always forget to remind people to do that, but if you would be so kind, like that video, it's a huge help. So this is Pikachu and Zekrom. Again, I want to make sure that it is upside down, which it is. That way I can tape this shut without fear of damaging the card inside. But what we're going to do is we're going to put this, again, sandwiched in a piece of cardboard. So I'm just going to have to cut around it because it ends up being a pretty tight fit with the bubble mailer that I'm using. Okay, so there's the first piece of cardboard. We're going to cut out another piece here. It'd probably work a little better if I had a better knife, but this knife blade's just slightly dull. Okay, so we got that cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that card, we're going to sandwich it in between the two pieces of cardboard. It's just going to give it some extra protection so it doesn't bend in the shipping process. We're going to tape it up so those cardboard pieces aren't moving. And there we have the card sandwiched in between cardboard. And then easily enough, we're just going to put it straight into the bubble mailer. And then we can put the bubble mailer or the label directly over the bubble mailer. Come on. If this wants to actually peel off of here so I can get to the sticky part. There we go. Okay, and then last but not least, we have the, what I did with that box. We have a better card going out, slightly better. We have this Charizard VMAX. All of these cards came from a purchase that walked into the shop last week. And we got them for a pretty good deal. We've basically into the profit on everything that we bought from them. This one, again, we're going to get that cardboard again. We're going to sandwich it in between two cardboard pieces. It is not going to go in a bubble mailer this time. We're going to put it into a box. So there's one sheet. Okay, there we've got the cardboard ready for it. Just going to give it some extra protection to keep it from bending at all. But it's going to be in a box, so we shouldn't have to worry about that anyway. So again, this was the Charizard VMAX, sold for 40 bucks. The bubble wrap we'll use as our packing material just to make sure it doesn't shift around inside of there. Perfect. Get this taped up. And it's good to go. Nothing shaking around in there. This is the Charizard VMAX. Moving on to our final two items. I sold some cups. So this is from, it's called Unicat, U-N-I-K-A-T. This is a good bolo to look out for. They sold these through the telephone website or thing, and I can't even think of it. Yeah, I can't think of it, but where people get on and buy off the TV. For some reason, it's eluding my mind. But those came off of here. So this is a pretty good brand. QVC, that's what it is. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. QVC. So whenever I ship out pottery or breakables that are cups, I like to put stuff inside the cup so I don't want to scratch it. So I'm going to put some bubble wrap, and I'm just going to pack some packing paper inside with the bubble wrap. Like so. And I don't know if there's any science behind this at all, but I just always do this. I think of it like I'm putting pressure from the inside pushing out. That way it would counteract any pressure that's pressing on to the inside. I have no idea if there's any science behind that. It's just what I like to do. It's always worked for me. So that's what I'll continue to do. So we're going to put some bubble wrap around this guy. And then whenever you ship breakable items like this, you definitely want to find a box that's a little bigger than you actually need. So typically with this size item, I would put it in this size box. So there's not a whole lot of room in there. It'd be a perfect fit, but I want extra packing material. So I'm actually going to go a size up, and we're going to go with this size box. That way I can put packing paper and give it a little extra protection. Now I will have to mark these. So actually, I think I sold these. I need to check now. I think I actually sold these to the same person. So before I package it up, yes, they did go to the same person. The good thing is there is plenty of room in this box. So they bought 2 of these cups. There's the second one. Again, Unicat, U-N-I-K-A-T. Sold through QVC. We're going to put, there was like a little piece of paperwork we're going to put in there as well. like I did with the last one, we're going to put some packing material inside the cup. I'm going to use the bubble wrap that it actually came with to tape it all up. And it's a nice fit inside this box. I am going to make sure that there's packing paper in between the two cups. That way they don't hit against each other and break. And it actually came in this box, and it's a very flimsy box. You can see how easy that bends. But they did have some packing peanuts. So I don't like having just packing peanuts laying around. It's not a packing material I typically like to use unless they're free and easy. So because they came in that box, it's a good way to get rid of them. I'm going to put them in here just to give it some extra. Now those cups definitely aren't moving inside of there. And we go for some extra packing paper on top. Do the shake test. Perfect. Nothing's moving around. And just like that, we're all done with our shipping today. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed watching me pack all this stuff up, do me a favor, like that video. We will be going live from the shop a lot more here lately, or here in the future as well. I think it's been going fairly well. There's definitely some dull times in there because we'll go multiple hours without anybody walking in. But sometimes it's pretty good with people bringing us stuff or buying stuff. So stay tuned for more lives at the shop where we'll be buying, selling, and doing some listing stuff. So this has been Retro Rewinder. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.